Most people think the reason they can't hit their goals is because they're lazy, undisciplined, or just not consistent enough. That's why they keep buying planners, watching motivational videos, and setting the same goals every January. But here's the part nobody realizes. Motivation isn't the problem, because the real reason people fail has nothing to do with discipline. It's because the systems they're building are designed to break. People don't fail because their goals are too big. They fail because their brains were never built to chase goals in the first place. And here's the part that surprises almost everyone. According to behavioral science research from Duke University, up to 45% of what you do each day is driven by habit, not conscious decision. Almost half your life is automated. So when someone writes down a big goal like get fit or make more money, they're trying to replace years of automatic daily habits with a burst of motivation that might last 3 days, maybe a week. The system running your life is subconscious, but your goals are conscious. They're not even playing the same sport. To make this simple, think of goals as the destination on your GPS. They tell you where you want to go. But your daily habits, the things you default to without thinking, are the actual car. Most people spend their whole lives shouting at the destination, hoping it will move closer to them, while never checking if their car even has fuel. For example, someone might say, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day this year, but their system is built on scrolling until 1 a.m. Or someone says, I'm going to lose 10 kilograms, but their system is built around stress eating and skipping breakfast. The goal is logical, the system is emotional, and emotion always wins. If your brain repeats habits automatically almost half the time, then the fastest way to hit a goal is not to fight the old habits. It's to design new ones that make the old ones irrelevant. You don't need to force yourself to go to the gym every day. Start by placing your gym clothes next to your bed as a trigger. You don't need to force yourself to read more. Put a book on your pillow so touching it becomes automatic at night. You don't need to be more disciplined with money. Automate a small transfer that happens without you. When you design the environment, you bypass motivation altogether. The system carries you. And why does this matter? Because when you zoom out, you realize something shocking. Goals rely on moments. Systems rely on momentum. When you only focus on goals, every day that you don't hit the target makes you feel like you failed. But when you focus on systems, every day you show up, even for 5 minutes, becomes a win. This is the shift that determines whether someone makes lifelong progress or spends their whole life trying. Understanding this difference is the foundation for everything else in this video, because the moment you stop worshiping goals and start designing systems, you unlock a version of yourself that can't fall back to zero. That point alone can change your life, but if you don't understand what a system actually is, the whole thing falls apart. Because most people think systems are routines or to-do lists, but the truth is way more powerful and way more surprising. A system isn't a routine, and it's not a habit. A system is an identity-building machine. It's the invisible architecture that shapes who you become without asking for your permission. Most people hear the word system and think of a checklist, a morning routine, or a schedule. But that's surface level. At its core, a system is the set of repeatable actions you do so consistently that your brain rewires itself around them. Neuroscientists call this automaticity, and studies from University College London show it takes an average of 66 days for a behavior to become automatic, meaning your brain literally runs it on autopilot. That's what a system creates, a new autopilot. To make this simple, think of your identity as software. Whatever your system repeats becomes the code. If you want to identify as someone who is fit, wealthy, focused, or calm, the system is the loop that builds that identity line by line. For example, if your system is waking up and immediately checking your phone, your identity becomes reactive. If your system is writing for 10 minutes every morning, your identity becomes creative. If your system is investing a percentage of your income every month no matter what, your identity becomes financially disciplined. Systems shape your identity, and your identity determines your destiny. This is why goals fail. They try to change your results without changing the person producing them. You can design them intentionally. If you want to become someone who reads daily, don't set a goal to read 30 books a year. Create a system. Put your book on your pillow every morning so the trigger is unavoidable. If you want to be someone who works on their side hustle consistently, design a system. Keep your laptop plugged in on your desk, notifications off, and work for 10 minutes before touching your phone. If you want to be someone who saves money every month, automate a tiny transfer that happens without your involvement. These small actions don't look impressive at first, but that's the point. The goal impresses people. The system changes you. And when you zoom out, you start to see why systems matter more than anything else we've talked about. A goal asks, what do you want? But a system asks, who are you becoming? And the identity you repeat is the identity you keep. This is why Olympic coaches don't train athletes to win gold medals. They train them to become the kind of person whose daily actions naturally produce elite results. It's why successful businesses don't rely on motivation. They rely on processes that work even when the founder is tired. And it's why people who build systems achieve what others spend their whole lives trying to do. Systems stack identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes reality. Once you understand that, you stop chasing outcomes and start designing versions of yourself. But none of it matters if your system can't actually stick. Because even the best designed system falls apart if the environment, triggers, and rewards aren't built correctly. And once you understand how to engineer a system that becomes impossible to break, everything you want becomes easier than you've ever imagined. Your willpower has almost nothing to do with whether a system succeeds or fails. Researchers at Stanford found that people wildly overestimate their self-control and underestimate how much their environment shapes their behavior. In fact, one of the lead behavioral scientists put it simply, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. That means the real reason you quit a system isn't because you're weak. It's because the system wasn't engineered correctly. A system that sticks isn't powered by motivation. It's powered by structure. And structure always wins. To make this simple, think of a system as a three-part machine: a trigger, a behavior, and a reward. If any of these three are missing, the system breaks. The trigger is the cue that tells your brain what to do next. The behavior is the action itself. And the reward is what locks the loop into your identity. For example, let's say you want a system for daily reading. Your trigger could be placing the book on your pillow every morning. The behavior is reading one page. And the reward could be the feeling of closing the book and knowing you stayed consistent. If you remove the trigger, you forget. If you remove the behavior, you feel guilty. If you remove the reward, you quit. The loop has to be complete. Because once you understand this loop, you can apply it to almost anything. Want to drink more water? Put a water bottle next to your keyboard so it becomes the visual cue every time you sit down. Want to work out more consistently? Lay out your clothes the night before and make the reward something simple, like tracking the workout on an app. The brain loves visible proof. Want to build a better relationship with your finances? Create a system where every Sunday you spend 5 minutes checking your expenses. Trigger: Sunday morning reminder. Behavior: 5-minute review. Reward: watching the number you saved grow week by week. The trick is to make the first version so small, so easy, so frictionless, that it feels harder not to do it. A system that sticks becomes a system that compounds. And compounding is the most powerful force in human progress. Compounding is how investors turn small deposits into massive portfolios. It's how athletes turn tiny improvements into world records. It's how creators turn one upload into a career. A small system repeated consistently produces a level of progress that motivation could never achieve. If you try to change your life through force, you will lose. But if you change it through friction, removing the friction from the actions you want to do and adding friction to the ones you don't, the identity you're trying to build forms naturally. And once your identity changes, the behaviors become automatic. You don't struggle to stay consistent. You struggle to stop. Even if you understand triggers, behaviors, and rewards, there's still one final piece that determines whether a system can survive long-term, and most people completely overlook it. Because the truth is, a system doesn't only need structure, it needs alignment. And once you understand how alignment works, you stop building systems that fight your life and start building systems that fit it. The fourth pillar is something most people overlook because it doesn't feel productive, but it is the single habit that multiplies every financial action you take: tracking your behavior. Not budgeting, not planning, not dreaming, tracking. When scientists studied top performers in business, sports, and behavioral change, they found one thing in common: people who monitor their actions improve dramatically more than those who don't. In fact, according to a study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, people who tracked their habits were up to 60% more likely to achieve their goals compared to those who relied on memory or intention alone. Tracking is powerful because it brings unconscious spending, unconscious time wasting, and unconscious choices into the light. And once something is measured, it starts to change automatically. Here's the simplest way to apply this without feeling overwhelmed. Use a daily 3-point tracker. Every night, answer 3 quick questions. Number 1 is, where did my money go today? List only the 3 biggest expenses. And number 2 is, where did my time go today? List the 3 biggest activities. And lastly is, what did I improve today? 1 sentence maximum. This tiny ritual is deceptively powerful. If you spent $150 on food delivery, you'll notice it instantly. If you wasted 2 hours scrolling, it becomes undeniable. If you made one small improvement, like reading 5 pages or sending 1 sales message, you reinforce that identity of growth. And the best part? You don't need a fancy app. You can do it in your Notes app. After 1 week, you'll see patterns. After 1 month, those patterns turn into insights. After 3 months, those insights turn into new habits. Tracking is the bridge between who you think you are and who you actually are. And once those 2 identities collide, change becomes inevitable. Why does this matter so much for financial transformation? Because wealth doesn't come from big moments. It comes from consistent, invisible, daily actions. And if you don't track those actions, you can't improve them. Think about businesses. No successful company runs without metrics. They know their revenue, expenses, customer behavior, daily output. Everything is measured. Yet individuals often live with 0 data about themselves. Tracking closes that gap. It turns your life into something you can manage instead of something you react to. When you track your time and spending for 90 days, you start building the foundation of financial intelligence, the skill that separates the wealthy from the average. It's not about being strict, it's about being aware. Awareness is the starting point of mastery. That's the hidden habit that makes everything else you do twice as effective. But here's the thing. So to wrap this up, here's the big picture. The wealth you want starts with identity, who you become before the money arrives. The mindset shift that you want turns consistency into your greatest advantage. Find a system that organizes your finances and removes stress from your life. And most importantly, the habit that multiplies every effort you make. Tracking your behavior so you can actually improve it. All these systematic changes will help you in the long term, but what you have to focus on is putting one foot in front of the other, and the line of consistency will be drawn. If this video helped you see money and discipline differently, hit the like button so more people can find it. And in the comments, tell me which part of the system you're missing right now. Identity, consistency, structure, or tracking. Your next breakthrough might start with that one comment.